Hello, guys, and welcome. If you're living in Turkey, this is for you. This is a step by step process on how to make an application for a resident permit or a work permit or a student permit. Now, first, you need to log into the government website, which is eecamet.goc.gov.tr. Now, the first option you see here is foreign ID number. Now, this is only for those who already have an existing resident permit. Now, before you begin this process, please have your traveling document next to you, either your passport or whichever document you use for traveling. Now, the first option you're going to see here is your foreign ID number. Now, this is for only those who already have an existing resident permit. That's the reason why it is on black. It's not important to fill at this process. So the first option you see is the name. If you have a name and an other name, so you have to put the both name just as it is on your passport. And then you see your last name. Your last name is your father's name. You have to put it there. These names are all fabricated names if you don't know. And then option again is your father's name. You either put the same name on your last name or you put your father's name and the other name is your mother's name. You have to fill it in there. Now the other option is the passport area. I already made a tutorial video on how to make a passport photograph for this process. It is very difficult and that's why you have to watch that other video. Okay, so let's move on to page 2. Page 2 here says gender, date, marital status, nationality, and country of birthplace. First, you need to fill in your gender, either a male or a female, and then you need to put in your date of birth. So, on the area of the date of birth, I always advise that you don't just fill in like the way you usually do in any kind of form. It's best that you pick in the option. There's an option there beside the date of birth. Okay, so you click on that area, it will bring out a calendar date that you have to go back on it and make your selection. Okay, it's very important to use that process so you have it right, so you don't make a mistake. All right. So the next option is marital status. You're either single or married or whatever kind of marital status you are. The options are all laid out down there if you click on it. And after that, we go down to nationality, which means where you are from. You put in your country on that option. And then the other option that is important is the country of birthplace, which is also your country. Or rather, maybe you're making an application for someone who was born in a foreign country, you have to put that country down there. So that is all for this page. Let's move to the next page. Now, this page is all about your traveling document. First option you see here is document type. If you're using just a passport, which you didn't get from either from UN or some other kind of external body, you option you're supposed to choose among them is ordinary passport. Now you see the date of issued. You need to put the date your passport was issued. You need to hold your passport next to you and then you look into it and fill it according to how it is on your traveling passport. And don't forget the angle that I pointed there, which you have to use that area to be accurate in arranging the date. And also you do the same for validity dates, which means the date that your passport is going to end. And then we see passport number is there, and then the country that issue it, which is your country. And there's another option that said issuing authority, right? So that area you have to look into your passport to see where and what is written there. That area is also on your passport. You need to check it and look for what is written there. If it's any country, you have to put the country that is there. You have to write it there. All right. So we'll move on to the next page. Now, this option is for who is making the application. Are you making the application yourself? If so, then you need to pick the first option that says I lodged the application on my own behalf. But if not so, then you have to take the other option. Let's move to the next page. The next page is about the house address. Now, first of all, you need to own a address here, your name on a bill. So you need to pick up the bill that your name is on, and then you look into the address portal and you fill it according to how it is. When you get to this page, you will see how it is written there. You first pick the city, the state that you're in. After the state, then you pick the province, and then you go order to the streets, and then to the house address. And the next option is your telephone number, which you have to put in there. And after that, you put in your email address. Your email address, get me? I mean your Gmail or Yahoo Mail or so on. And then the last option there is move-in date. That area, you're going to look into your house contract, and then you put in the date that is written there that you move into that house. That is the option you're going to put in that portal. Okay, so let's move down to the next page. Now, this page is not necessary if you're not a student. So when you come across this page and you're not a student, you're not applying as a student, you just need to click next. Now, if you're applying as a student, you first need to fill in the education information. That place you're going to put in. If you're applying as an undergraduate, you have to put in high school and equivalent. So, and then in education area, you put it as according to how it is seen here. Then you put in your student ID number, and then if the school is a private school, you're going to put foundation. But there are two options there which says state or foundation. So if the school is a private university, you're going to put in foundation, and then you're going to put in the date that your class is going to begin, and the date is going to end. If it's a 4-year degree, you have to calculate it and put in a date that is reasonable to the year that you're going to end your classes. And don't forget again the option to put in date. Anything that has to do with date, make sure you use that option, that area by the end of the portal there. Okay, and then you have to put in the country and the city, which means the country and the city where your school or your class is going to be. So that's it for this page, and then we move on to the next page. So this option here, it's about filling your income, how much you're making for a living. It's not just all about how much you're making in the country. It's how much you're making for a living. They need to know if you can be able to sustain yourself while you're living in the country. I'm saying this to those who wants to apply as a tourist, who came as a tourist and making application for a short stay resident permit, and also for a student. This question is also required, and for those who are applying for a work permit. For a work permit, you have to pick the right options and so on and so forth. But in this option, you see the first option there says income information. On that area, you're expected to fill in how much you're expecting. Now, the option you're seeing on the screen, which says none, two, and so on, it actually means that you are earning the minimum wage and times 2 of it. You're making times 2 of the minimum wage. And then the other options that I put in are sub-best. That sub-best in English language, it means freelancer. So it means that you're doing a freelancer job, and that's the reason why I picked an option that says photography. Photography could be a professional job, it could be a freelancing job, and so on, And there are other options of freelancing job. You can pick in salon or hairstylist and so on. There are so many options there for you to pick in. Alright, so let's move on to the next page. So on this page, you are requested to fill in your health insurance. It's very important. This page is so much important. So if you're applying for a work permit, you are requested to use the SGK insurance, which is Care in Turkish. The SGK in English actually means the Social Security Institute. Okay, that is what it means. It's not SGK, it's SSI in English. So, but it's going to be written here in Turkish. So, if you're applying for work permit, that is when you're to use the government institute insurance. But if you're applying as a tourist, a short stay, or rather as a student, then you can use a private health insurance. So I'll make a special video on how you can buy a private health insurance. Now, on the space of health insurance validity period, Remember again the area of the date. Don't forget that area. You're gonna when you already buy the health insurance, you're gonna fill in the date there, and then the renewal number. If it's a 1 year renewal health insurance you bought for 1 year, then you're gonna put zero on the option there because it's not renewable. And then the insurance company, you're going to click it there and then select the insurance company that you bought from. And then the last option there is the insurance policy number. So you're going to fill in the policy number there, which is the insurance number, and then you click on the add button that is there. So you can see on the below there my insurance is added there, so you can do the same. And then when you do that for yours, and then we move on to the next page. So we are already at the last page, which says information on short-term declaration. Now if you follow me to this point, you have done a great job for yourself, and which is very nice. So you see, this declaration point is very, very vital that you read everything that is written here before you tick and tick and tick and tick and tick on every option that seems to align with your personality. It matters a lot. And for the ones that are not unread, I'll advise you don't click on those options because they may not apply to your personality. All right. Now, if you have had a denied before, if you have been denied before, I think it's on black also, so you can tick on that. But sometimes don't do it because when you do it, it might cause a problem for you in future times. You don't even know. So, but try to click on all the red in order to move to the next page. So, moving on to the next page, we see reason for stay, we see requested period, starting date, and ending date. So all of that you have to fill those options. It's not important that you need to write an essay or an explanation for the reason why you need to stay. It's not an important option. But if you want to, you can go ahead and write up something there. Alright? So this is all I have to share with you regarding to how to make an application for a resident permit in Turkey. And it is nice that you followed me to this end, which is 12 minutes plus. And I think by now you're already a professional, so you can do anything regarding to application for a resident permit yourself. So don't forget, I said I'm going to make a different video for how to buy an insurance. So look forward to that video as we proceed. See you on my next video, guys, and have a lovely day. And please don't forget to like, share, or subscribe. It depends on the platform you're seeing this video from. Okay, it's very important to do any of that if you want me to continue making content like this for you guys. Alright, so bye once again and see you on my next video.